Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also, follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful musician who once upon a time lived in Florida. He's now in Los Angeles, and he has been compared to Cat Stevens, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Bob Dylan, and many of the other classics going from way back. And he's also got an album coming out in 2020, Language of the Clouds, and his recent release, The Ascended Man, has gotten some very, very wonderful reviews, and we'll be playing one of those in just a minute. And he also talks about a very specific tune that he likes to talk about, and I find that very amazing. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from beautiful Los Angeles, the very multi-talented singer-songwriter, guitarist, musician, Scott Howard. Scott, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes.
I gotta say, this is just a pleasure, just listening to your music. It feels like I'm talking to Cat Stevens right now, which is amazing. So.
Thank you very much. Cat is he was one of my, people that I like to listen to, way back when we all were, younger, and we felt like we needed to speak to a friend, that we went to the radio and we listened to the songs that made us feel good. And, his music resonated with me. And I guess in a way, people are feeling the same thing today with my music. And my tuning is a 432, which is, that's the way it used to be 1,000 years ago, or a couple of hundred years ago, when they listened to Bach or Beethoven. That was the tuning. It was 432, and the tuning was changed to 440, and now we've got 5G, and the 440 tuning actually keeps you down. It keeps your frequency lower. So the 432 actually, by listening to the music, it raises your frequency, which is what we all want to do while we're here. And the subject matter, it's a new genre of music. It's called source music. So it comes from the right places.
Wow. I was going to ask you about the 432 hertz as well, too, and comparing, like you said, the 445, the 5G. And I guess the question is like, what is the difference between the 432 and the 445 and the other frequencies as well, too? It's just like, is in terms like, the high frequencies, low frequencies, the pitches, and everything like that. It's just like, 432, I thought, that's just amazing. I love to hear about it.
Well, I'll give you a little history lesson. During World War II, The Germans, they were working on their prisoners, and they found that, well, actually for thousands of years, they all knew that everything was frequency. And depending upon the right frequency, you can do anything from, levitate to moving rocks to, walk through walls. And the 440 frequency, it was seen that it was good for, well, it's not good for anything, quite frankly, but it's 440 lowers your frequency, and they used it for mind control, and they used it for causing diseases. And that, believe it or not, frequency causes, it can cause disease. So what they did was they changed all the standard tuning for instruments, all the broadcasting, all the TV. It was changed to 440. And that lowered our frequency as a human being. And the 432 frequency actually raises our resonance, and it helps us with ascension, which is what we're all working for while we're on this planet. And my music is, I guess, channels that aspect, in that not only is it being played at the right frequency, but it is also the subject matter itself is about us being the best we can possibly be as a human being, as a 5D human, which is what we're all doing. The Earth is going up in frequency. It's the Schumann resonance is off the charts right now, which is how they measure our Earth's frequency. And at one time it was at a very low level, and now it's almost 10 to 20 times that now, which means we're getting bombarded with a lot of energy right now in this part of the universe. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are feeling things they haven't felt before. They're seeing things they haven't seen before. Well, when they say that the veil is thinning, and the veil, that is true. The difference between us and the other realities, and there are multiple parallel realities. Because now we're getting into science here, but that is thinning. So about 5 years ago, I went through a bit of an awakening, and I guess Source felt it was time to take the training wheels off, and they allowed me to see things and put me in situations that opened my eyes and made me realize there's a lot more to this reality than just what we have here. And my music was one of them, and so I was kind of, I guess, given a mission to bring a new genre of music to the earth, which is called source music. And so it seems to be resonating throughout the planet because it is worldwide. My music is being heard everywhere, and I think the people, our fellow human beings, are all, realizing that we're all one. And that's what source is. Source is, it's one. And the music hopefully conveys that.
That is amazing, too. And I learned a lot about the 432, the history of it. And I guess the question is, were you studying physics at the time or something, or studying any science?
I had been studying ancient science because the current science doesn't work. The ancient science, they knew all the right answers. They knew all the secrets. And so I was studying and reading a lot about frequency, and obviously the Egyptians, knew about it and utilized it in building, building the pyramids. And the pyramids weren't even built by the Egyptians; they were built by an ancient alien being prior, and they came down here, which were, it's all in the Bible. I mean, the Bible pretty much is Star Wars. It's, if you know how to read it correctly, it's a very interesting book, but it's not what you think it is. Adam and Eve was, the Adamites. Whatever you read about a person, it really is a group of people. Mm-hmm. So when you read the secrets of everything, you begin to realize that everything is frequency. Everything, if you have the right resonance, you can literally walk through walls, which is, ancient as well as new secret tech that we've got right now. So, and a lot of that will come out.
Mm-hmm. And have you personally tried to walk through walls with that frequency? That sounds something I like to do, actually.
Yeah, well, I haven't done that, but I have been, meditation is key, and because I have been seeing things I couldn't explain, and that's really what was happening. Is I think people today are also children. Their frequency is higher than ours is. So the kids today are seeing things, or they're experiencing things that they can't explain. And a lot of them, I started making videos maybe about 5 years ago because I was seeing things and I couldn't explain them. But thank God I had a camera, and so people couldn't say I was crazy because I have it on camera. But I started putting it out on YouTube, and people started saying, "My God, I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was the only one." And thank God I found your videos, and so it became apparent that I was hitting a chord that people were not understanding what was happening, and they were seeing things. Right these days, people are seeing UFOs, in the sky all the time. It's there, and they can't hide it anymore. So I guess the universal consciousness or the world consciousness, everyone is waking up at the same time. So I think that's where my music really hits a chord, in that it is addressing the answer. Most people talk about the question, but what's the answer? And the answer is frequency. You've got to raise your frequency. The harder you get, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's true. So the more you work on yourself, the higher your frequency will go, and the more the luckier you will get. So I'm hoping that my music answers a lot of those questions, and makes people feel good about themselves, and makes them realize that there are some questions out there, and maybe I've got some of the answers.
And what are some of the examples that you're seeing that other people weren't seeing?
Well, my next album is called The Language of Clouds. So I was seeing things in the clouds that most people stopped looking up. Everyone looks down and just goes to work every day. My song Awaken, which is actually on Ascended Man, I look up and I see the stars out tonight. I look up and I feel things aren't right. That's one of the lyrics. But I noticed I bought a camera, a Nikon P900, and it's funny. Everybody that's on YouTube that has paranormal experiences always has a P900 camera.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to get one, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
buy one for my wife for her birthday. That'd be great.
You get it. It's not expensive, but it's a great source, because excuse the pun, but I noticed that what my eye was seeing, the lens was not seeing. The lens was seeing a lot more than my eye. So it became very aware that we're missing a lot of things in our visual spectrum versus the camera. And the camera picks up things you wouldn't believe. Paranormal, elementals, fairies, gnomes, everything everyone thinks is crazy. It's not. It's all there. It's all it was at one time in other veils, and the veils got thinner, so people are starting to see things now. But with a camera, the lens picks up everything. You go on YouTube, everywhere you look around, everyone's taking a picture of something that they can't explain.
And what's it again? The Nikon P900?
Yeah, Nikon P. I don't want to do an advertisement for Nikon, but for $599, you get yourself a camera that sees 2,400 times away. It's got amazing focusing capabilities, and all of a sudden you start looking at the moon, and the moon doesn't add up, it doesn't make sense, and you start looking at the clouds, and the clouds look like houses and fairies and gnomes and angels. And I'm looking at right now, it's in my next album, which is coming out. It's going to be done in vinyl, The Language of Clouds. And I've got a book inside the album, which has got pictures of some of the photos I've taken for the last 5 years, which will blow your mind, because these are not clouds.
Oh,
these are solid objects. These are faces. These are, homes. These are pyramids. Everything you can imagine.
That is amazing too. We're going to play your song "Written in the Clouds," before we wrap up and everything, we'll play one of your tracks as well, too, and go over some history as well, too. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show to get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with singer, songwriter, musician, guitarist Scott Howard, now living in Los Angeles here on the Mike Wagner Show, talking about the 432 frequency and some of the history and what's coming up in the his latest album, Language of the Clouds. And also, there was something that we covered, Cat Stevens. We covered a few other things. And there's something I forgot to mention before, like I always ask. Tell us how you got started when it came to music.
Oh, my goodness. As a kid, I actually had a band, I think, when I was 8 years old. And I performed with my band at a nonprofit organization for children. And actually, a lot of my work, my charity, goes to charity for children, against child trafficking, suicide prevention. I had lost my son about a year ago.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and my son Max, he played a big role, and also set me on my direction. So my music has to do with that. As well, because I know most people have gone through a lot of pain in this lifetime, as well as many other lifetimes. So I think that hopefully the words I write will also touch people there as well.
Mm-hmm. And of course, besides Cat Stevens, we're talking about as well too. Who are some other favorite artists and singers and musicians growing up?
Oh my goodness! Well, again, as a kid. I always played an instrument, and I continued throughout my lifetime, writing music. But I stopped writing for a number of years. I couldn't understand. I was just, depressed. I wasn't happy, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was because I stopped playing my music. So never stopped playing and never stopped writing. So I started writing again. And my favorite musicians, my goodness, going back, a lot of legacy musicians. I liked Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I enjoyed Yes. I enjoyed Peter Gabriel, Genesis, Phil Collins, Moody Blues, on and on and on. Pink Floyd. Some of the new stuff today, I not as much. I think a lot of the music today has lost its soul, if you will,
mm-hmm.
and hopefully I can help bring some of that back with some of the music that I'm writing today. But I think that there are some young musicians that are figuring it out. There's a number of them that are starting to perform in 432, and I'm actually going to have a World Ascension tour where I'm going to try to have a number of people that are like-minded individuals and musicians, preferably legacy type musicians. So if I can get the Moody Blues, or I can get Sting or Seal, but they must perform in 432. They can't perform in 440. And then have meditation and classes and people that can speak about the things that they've seen and they know. And this way it could be one of those the new Woodstock, if you will, and do this worldwide because of the social media. And again, the key here is to change the frequency of the planet as well. Well, the planet's frequency is changing no matter what. So the planet's going to 5G, and the planet will take us, or we're like fleas on a dog. So either we'll go or we won't go. So we've got to change our frequency. We've got to increase our frequency. And that's what my job is here right now, is to bring a message of hope and ascension, and hopefully the music they enjoy while they're listening.
And of course, speaking of music as well, too, and along the lines of Cat Stevens, we have a track from the Ascended Manor release. Here's "Life's Not Easy" from Scott Howard, right here on the Mike Wagner Show.
I've had a bad week. Does she love me still? Was this the end? Can I find my four-leaf clover? Can I still make amends? Sometimes life's not easy. Sometimes life's not fair. Sometimes there's another man who has more time to share. Is there another lover? I'm tortured by the thought. What happened to my children? Have I lost the battle fought? I've lived through a million sad songs. Can I ever right these wrongs? A young soul as fragile as the line. It's all okay, things will be fine. Sometimes life's not easy. A moment I can't forget. Sometimes the pain it offers grows with each and every breath. The veil coming down has taken its toll. A man with no love of life is living in sin. A world with no love of life. Is this the place we're in? Is this the place we're in? Is there a chance for us all? A chance to find the meaning of all? Love of life is living in sin, living out the darkest night. Is this the place we're in? Is this the place we're in? Can I find my four-leaf clover? Or is this the end?
Life's Not Easy from Scott Howard here on the Mike Wagner Show. Very, very fantastic. It definitely reminds me of Cat Stevens, going from relationships to where we are today. It's just amazing.
Thank you so much. I wasn't sure if it was playing, so forgive me. I couldn't hear.
Oh, no, that's okay, because I'm actually including it in the interview as well, too. So this is for everybody to listen. So I'm giving the opportunity, and this is definitely playing 432, and I did feel it, by the way. So, yes, it's just a fantastic song. And tell us a little more about the song itself and what inspired you to write Life's Not Easy.
I believe that at the time I was having problems with my kids, and at the time I was going through a divorce. So life's not easy, and sometimes you question yourself: am I doing things right? Really, what's going on? So I started writing the song, and then I was listening to a radio show, and the radio show was about it was a psychic. It was a medium that was channeling George Harrison, I think it was. And the medium was speaking to George, and it said, George, where you are right now, are you still playing your music? And his answer was, where I am music.
So where I am music.
I am music. So I wrote a song called I Am Music, and this song here was actually the finishing of it. So I seem to write in concept albums. So one song seems to go to the next song. So this album, Ascended Man, is kind of like that. It's my journey. It's the beginning of my journey, which is the first song, Come With Me. And so it's the beginning of my journey through my awakening, if you will. So I by no means have have I ascended as an ascended man, but I feel that I am working and definitely raising my frequency every day and trying to do the right thing. And you have to do service to others now. You can't do service to self. You've got to do service to others, and this is what I'm doing with the loss of my son and the charity donations that go to charity for children that do have mental issues, whether it is depression. All I can say is don't take meds. It's the worst thing. You've got to do. Meditation is very, very important, and raising your frequency is the key. So this tuning helps you with that. And my new album, The Language of Clouds, deals with that very succinctly. And the title track is Written in the Clouds, and there's a number of excellent songs on there as well. But Ascended Man has got some phenomenal songs. It kind of reminds me of my Tea. It's my Tea for the Tillerman.
Tea for the Tillerman. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So if you like Tea for the Tillerman, you'll love this album. In that it's just one song goes into the next, and it's the type of album that you can listen to over and over again. It's really is. Sometimes I wonder who wrote the music.
Speaking of Cat Stevens as well too, I tell everybody this story. When Morning Has Broken came out, my mom and dad bought it as a single on my birthday. It was like my first ever 45, and I enjoyed it to death, literally, and it was just amazing. And of course, a fellow Yes member, Rick Wakeman, was on the piano, as told by one of my cohorts as well too. And that was just an amazing song, just came from the Bible as well too. And I listened to it; it's just fantastic.
Well, you'll have plenty of those type of songs on this album. Awaken is an amazing song. Illusions of Life is a phenomenal song. I mean, there's some great messages on this album, and I think in the new album as well, The Language of Clouds. So my website is scotthowardmusic.com. There's some great information on the site regarding ascension and regarding an awakenings. And so if you're interested in learning more about who I am and what makes me tick, you can obviously hear it on my website, or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Scott Howard, and listen to some of my music videos. I've got 5 really cool music videos that really make you think. It's not like your pop music videos. These are some really cool, in-depth videos that you have to watch as they go along with the music. But I can just say, go watch them, whether it's on my website or on YouTube. Very cool.
We will do so as well, too. And, of course, just a couple of things to wrap up here with Scott Howard. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with singer, songwriter, musician, guitarist Scott Howard, now living in Los Angeles. He has his previous release, The Ascended Man. We heard Life's Not Easy. Also, Illusions of Life is also the album as well, too. And, of course, we also talked about his upcoming album in 2020, Language of the Clouds, and we'll be playing Written in the Clouds after the Mike Wagner Show, so make sure you stay tuned to that. And just a few things here with Scott Howard. You've been fantastic, and actually I learned a lot from you, by the way, with the 432 frequency. I'm going to start listening to that. And besides your album, do you have any upcoming plans for 2020 when it comes to a tour?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm right now working on, again, the World Ascension Tour, which I will be starting to shoot. I'm actually going to videotape that, and it will be put on, I'm not sure whether it'll be on Vimeo or, one of the, what's that? Not, I'm trying to think of the system, like a Patreon. So it'll be my Ascended Man album and my new songs, and some interviews, and then I will be touring throughout the United States, as well as potentially playing at a number of fests, if you will, or festivals. And I'm also going to be appearing on Bravo on it's called $1 Million Listings. It'll be appearing, I'm not sure, it'll be in April. I think at the beginning or the middle of April, I'll be on one of the segments there, and they're featuring my music on there as well. So you'll see me, believe me, you'll see me. And I'm also, like I said, I have some CDs here. People still use CDs. And if interested in giving a couple away, I'm more than happy to provide.
That'd be fantastic as well, too. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, my. Biggest influence. I guess Cat Stevens. Yeah. And him is Frank Sinatra.
Oh, Frank Sinatra. Yeah, he does it my way with Old Blue Eyes. Can't forget about old Frank, I'll tell you.
Absolutely. But I've always loved those, the legacy bands. I've always enjoyed their music. It was an honest message, and the music was written with no ulterior motives in mind. So I always enjoyed the that type of generation, if you will. And hopefully, I think the baby boomers as well as the young will enjoy these albums, because I do believe that they're resonating across the board worldwide.
Oh, that's fantastic. I got to put on some Frank Sinatra after this too, and get the vinyl, put out Cat Stevens, and of course it's not just the single play record players as well too. The ones you kind of stack up too. It's like that's what I actually miss. It's just having the records just go up and down. You can stack about 6 or dozen. So I got to start doing that again.
Yeah, well, my next album will be in vinyl, so you'll have it'll actually be an album, a full-size album, and it'll be have a book in there as well. And we're actually doing a movie about the clouds with my soundtrack, and actually have a line of clothing coming out as well called Ascension 432 Wear. And
Ascension 432 Wear.
Yeah, yes, and it's going to be it'll be a kind of like a skull caps and shirts, but it's got a protection symbol that is made to protect the chakras, and it'll also have crystals embedded in the clothing. So when you wear it, the crystals will help with ascension, protection, as well as healing. And so you can go to my website, scotthowardmusic.com. It'll be out probably in the next 30 days, the clothing line. But obviously you can go on now and order the CD or pre-order the new CD, The Language of Clouds.
That is fantastic. We're so looking forward to it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice is just be prepared. Life is going to change. Life always changes. So I would say that just keep your eyes open and look up and take a camera.
The Nikon P900. I have to go get one these days. So, all right, Scott, just want to say a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to you having again soon. Once again, Scott Howard, singer, songwriter, musician, guitarist here on the Mike Wagner Show. He's got the new album coming out. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? And where can people purchase or listen to your music?
My music can be purchased anywhere, iTunes and I guess any of the sites. And if you can't find it there, go to my website, again, scotthowardmusic.com. My YouTube channel is Scott Howard. I've got, all that Twitter stuff, and I don't know what they are, but you can find it and find me there as well. And I guess that's it. Be light and, raise your frequency and do not listen to anything. Not that you have a choice. 440 is there, but 5G is going to be a big problem. So you got to be very careful with 5G. And there's a lot of technology out there right now that helps you shield against 5G. But that's something that definitely concerns me.
That is amazing, too. Scott, once again, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Coming up, Written in the Clouds from Scott Howard on the Mike Wagner Show from his newest release, Language of the Clouds. Scott, you've been fantastic. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep this up to date. We'd love to have you back sometime in 2020 or so.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Language do you speak when you say hello to a cloud out loud? Can you read the rain on my face in a world of lies that blind? As above, so far below, been written 1,000 years ago in a black book by my bed. My Wi-Fi's dead. A God wrote this, they say, didn't hear it on CNN today. Is God such a jealous man that he keeps you from his divine plan? Is it written in the clouds, they say? Just a lullaby to keep us from our way. Thunder and lightning, the alarm to say, wake up and find your way. If we are one, do we all feel the same about getting past this illusion? How long has it been since we tried to begin to break through these chains of delusion? As above, so far below, but written 1,000 years ago, just players in a play. Who can say? As the Vatican's passed by another, clouds collide and fight each other. Everyone's living in their own drama, dancing this dance of a twisted karma. Is it written in the clouds, they say? Just a lullaby to keep us from our way. Thunder and lightning, the alarm to say, wake up and find your way. Is it written in the clouds, they say? Is this a lullaby to keep us from our way? Thunder and lightning, the alarm to say.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.